Hello. Can you guys see me or hear me? Let me turn off of this one. If you guys can hear me okay, let me know. Okay, I need to turn down my iPad. This is not the best of webcams. Can someone say hello if you have me coming through clear? Please give me a chat. Oh. Hello. Hi, Susan. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, I just want to make sure you guys could hear me okay, because I figure I needed to put my earpiece instead on the computer. It's not the best in visual, but I'm glad to be here. Excellent. Hi, Mark. Excellent. Glad you're here. All right. All right. Beautiful. Well, thanks for joining, you guys. I appreciate it so much. I know it's kind of an odd time. It's hard to choose the right time because everyone is usually on a different time zone. And I'm on the West Coast, and you guys might be familiar with a little city called Las Vegas, Nevada. And so we're on Pacific Coast time. So I just wanted to try to allow for those that may be on the East or out of the country. I know there's a couple of UK listeners as well, so I'm hoping that it worked for them also, but we'll see. I want to say it's Malika. Hi, Malika. How are you? So I just didn't want to make this rigid or anything. I was thinking that just talking about what it feels like and what we're doing with our fasting lifestyle, especially after doing the ADF series of the 10-day challenge. I hope you guys joined in on the fun, the alternate day fasting. And I think everyone's aware of it that is here right now and watching. How did you guys do? Did you guys do okay with alternate day fasting? Is that something that you would want to do in the future, or are you still doing it? For me, in alternate day fasting, I kind of fell off this week after the 10 days, and I actually went about 14 days doing alternate day fasting and being strict about it. But this week, I did not have the energy. I really didn't. I kept on doing OMAD every day, but what I would do on those fasting days that I should have been not eating is I was doing about a 300 calorie meal. And I know that that can be acceptable in some regimens. So if you're just eating under 500 calories, that if that works for you, that's awesome. I just felt like I needed to be more strict and not eat on those fasting days. But I just, after work, highly stressful this week. And I do work from home, but it's like conference call after conference call, and then you're dealing with sales. And so targets and what's been going on with our shutdown. And you've heard of Las Vegas, and we are down basically revenue on the Las Vegas Strip by 60 to 80%, depending on which hotel group you're in, because we just opened back up a few weeks ago. So it affects my day job is selling. If you guys really want to know what I do, I sell toilet paper for a living. Yeah, you would think that's recession free, right? Hi, Feb. I got Feb G on the line. Oh, Feb G is in Germany. Wow. What time is it in Germany, Feb? And hi, Tabitha. Okay, yes, Tabitha says she's going to try this week. Is that what you mean about alternate day fasting? Yeah. So I'm hoping that's what you meant. Okay, so in my military time, it's 21:34 there. So is that, let's see here, if I'm good about it, I almost forget sometimes. It's about 11 o'clock in the evening, 11:34. Am I getting there? Oh, Tabitha says 8 p.m. Is that in your time? Yeah. So please do share if you guys have any questions for me on alternate day fasting or anything fasting or just anything we do on a daily basis when it comes down to healthy habits. I will do my best to answer. I do have some questions that I pulled off of on some of the videos, and also in the community tab there were some questions there. I was waiting to see if a few people would get on that actually did have those questions, but also I had some questions coming from Instagram as well, and so I thought I addressed those also. Okay, so from my Instagram followers, there is a lovely person there that asked a couple of questions when it comes to dry fasting. Now, if you guys are not aware of what dry fasting is, and I think most of you are probably veterans, but I'll just say it for those that may not be familiar. Dry fasting entails not having any liquids of any sort or eating any food on those fasting days. And with dry fasting, there's a soft dry fast and then there's a hard dry fast. And the hard dry fast is no contact with water whatsoever. And that means no showers, no brushing teeth, because you're rinsing with water, right? None of that. That's a hard dry fast. Now, I have not done the hard dry fast. I've only done soft dry fast because I need to have a shower and I need to brush my teeth. So, I had been doing dry fasting off and on for the last 2 years. And when I first started out, because I lost that, if you saw the video, the 25 pounds off in 1 month, which was pretty phenomenal, but I was at my heaviest weight then. So it was easier to take off the weight with dry fasting entailing that. Dry fasting, I was doing probably 48 hours and then I would take a couple of days and I do another 48 and then I do a 72-hour in dry fasting in the last 2 weeks of that month. And that's when I lost the extra 10 pounds from the total of 25 pounds in a month. And I haven't done it since because I haven't gained that weight back. I probably gained about 5 to 7 pounds of the initial weight that I've lost almost 2 years ago. So I'm trying to hang on to maintenance, and that's what it's about. And I want to do more videos about that because not just one, but a few of the audience has asked if I would do more videos that pertain to maintenance after you reach your goal in whatever that is in weight loss. And I believe that maintenance of the weight that you've lost is more difficult than it is to actually lose the weight. I think you might agree with that. Yes? Calorie dense. Okay, so Tabitha's asking about a calorie dense salad for your one meal. I guess you would call it calorie dense. um, it's a variety with my tuna salad that I do. It just depends on the day. If I'm feeling like I need to lower the calorie intake, I wouldn't put, say, avocado in it, or I might just do the salad, but I usually put cheese in it. So that could get up to almost like 1,100 calories in any of my tuna salads. But I know how to pull away from that, and I can make that salad about 500 calories. So I hope that makes sense. There's a couple of videos that I do have about my tuna salad because that's most of the time what I eat throughout the weekdays, and with my tomato soup with vegetables, extra vegetables in it. So I pretty much am, I guess I consider myself a vegetarian about half the week. The other half, I do consume the protein. Yeah. I hope that answered your question. So, Mark, you're saying about the dry fast, you're not there yet. I get it. And you're trying to do 2 47-hour fasts a week. And then OMAD the rest of the week. Yeah, Mark, you're killing it. And I believe what I remember about you, Mark, if you don't mind me sharing, is that you're older gentleman than I am. Yeah, I'm 50, so I think you might be 60 if I'm correct, but you are doing marvelous. I think that's wonderful because Mark is doing like 47-hour fast every couple of days and then OMAD on the rest. And so he's been keeping that regimen up for quite a while, if I'm correct. Yeah. FebG, yeah, you asked how old I am. Yeah, I'm 50. I'll be 51 in September. Yeah, that's right around the corner. It's going fast. It's going fast. Yeah, I certainly will work on the maintenance, Suzanne. I'm working on a couple of videos about that, and I have a video that I will be working on next, and I'll share about that in a little bit. Uh, I'm trying to get out one video every week for sure, but my goal has always been to get 2 videos a week. But since we did the ADF challenge, obviously I put out about 4 videos that week, and that almost killed me. I love doing the videos, but I have a problem with editing. I over edit sometimes, and I feel like I need to give you something clean as possible because I tend to mumble and say a lot of yeah, that kind of thing. I can't stand that in just a normal video that's already pre-taped. So I'm trying to let go of that and not be so I don't know, strict about it. But that's what causes me to spend a lot of time in editing. So I'm trying to get better about that. I went to college for film and TV and radio, and I always had that thing about even in broadcasting, like news, that you had a script to read, but I don't have a script to read. I just have maybe a little bit of outline or a couple of notes that I put together just to make sure I don't ramble on any given video. So I hope you guys enjoy what I'm putting out there, and I'm hoping that it's informative. That's most important. Yeah. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. um, so Malika is saying that she does IF the 16/8 and she wants to try longer fast, but hubby and her are starting a family, and with the longer fast hurt her in trying to get prego. I get it. I get it completely. That's so wonderful. I love that you're starting a family. That's wonderful. That's a good question. I really can't say that I can answer that. For one, I wasn't blessed to be able to have a child. I'm just one of those flawed individuals that just could not get pregnant. But for my friends that are very much into fitness and also have family, they seem to have an issue with trying to figure out their cycles. So because their menstrual cycle would be off because they are so fit. So I think that is an issue. So timing. But I went to a fertility doctor. I would always recommend to maybe see them for initial consultation and just to make sure that you're okay, your hubby's okay. You probably already done that, and also to let them know about what you're doing in fasting. 16/8 is really not going to hurt you at all because in 8 hours, I can do 3, 4, 5 meals. That's easy. That's real easy to get in trouble too. So I tend to overeat if I allow myself that large of a window. But as you because you're starting from a level, maybe you do have 3 or 4 meals and maybe a couple of snacks in between. So I guess as you start condensing now, take an hour away after a couple of weeks, take an hour away and tighten up that window. And that will help you if you're trying to lose weight. Um, but if you're just want to maintain and just be healthy in general, 16-8 is fine. I have other YouTubers that are big YouTubers that are in the health world, and they always believe that doing like a 18-6 is more effective if you're starting out in intermittent fasting. Yeah. Fly Girl. Hi, Fly Girl. So she's asking, Fly Girl's asking if my guide explains how to start. She's a newbie, want to make a major change. Yeah. My little guide is a cheat sheet to starting intermittent fasting. So, and it'll give you some ideas of what types of fasting that you might be interested in and what they're about. It's just real quick little, because I think it's only about, I made it, I think it's 6 or 7 pages. And I made it a while ago, like last year, at the end of last year. And I'm in the middle of updating it too. So please do, download that one, but download another one, because I'm not finished with updating it, but it's not anything that would really change of, the over ideal of the cheat sheet. It's just that I looked at some things and I'm thinking, I can update some grammar, I can update it or just add to it a little bit more. So that's what I'm working on right now. I am probably going to have it out in a couple of weeks. I'll be finished with it, but I would go ahead and pull down that one. It's free. So thanks for asking. Yeah. So you want to fast for 5 days, FebG. And never fasted before. I eat clean, 100% organic. Yeah. That's good that you eat clean, because before you start a fast, you definitely don't want to have a lot of processed foods and, carbs, high carb diet. It tends to be more difficult when you do that. And so if you're having some protein or, vegetables that, that's obviously a carb too, but it's fiber in it. Vegetables, fruit before you start a fast. So you kind of work yourself into it because that's more water in the food. And so it'll make it easier once you go into the first day. The first 24 hours is always the hardest for me. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but that is the hardest to get by mentally. And then when I feel like I have some stomach pings and I think I'm hungry, it's really because most likely you're dehydrated and you need to drink more water and then add a little electrolyte in there. If you are fasting for real over 24 hours, I would say, add in the electrolytes like Himalayan salt, just a little bit, depending on the size and ounces. If you want to know those specifics, we can get into that. But I have other videos that talks about what can I drink while fasting. There is a video that you can find in the playlist. You're welcome, Malika. So I had a very loyal viewer, and she is from the UK. I don't know if it's a she or he. I mean, I just assume it's a she, but changing lifestyles. I'm going to shout her name out because she had put on the community tab a couple of questions. And so I'm going to answer that. I hope she's here. And if she's not, then she'll get it on the recording. So I'm asked, the question she asked is, please discuss my health in my 20s and 30s, etc. She want to know what I did and how I felt in those years. Okay, because I figure when I look at the demographics of who watches the videos here on my channel, is I see that the average age is between 25 to 45. I mean, that's probably the biggest percentage of the age group. So I think this might benefit some of you that are watching right now. But in my 20s, I will tell you this, and I've done interviews on other channels, and I've shared that I was horrible in my 20s. My diet was bad. I ate tons of junk food. I was in drive-throughs all the time. I started sales in my 20s, so I was always, running through, never sit down to eat lunch and going from one appointment to the next. And with also when I became about 26, 27, late 20s, that's when my first initial experience of gaining weight started to happen. I mean, I tend to be a small person, but I easily jumped up about 12 pounds all of a sudden in 1 year. And I couldn't understand it. So I knew it was hormonal, but I started getting diet pills. And I know that's the worst thing that you really can do. Back then, I didn't have a clue about intermittent fasting and doing things more natural. Uh, I knew I wanted to search for those answers. I just didn't understand it at the time. I grew up in California and LA, where all the beautiful people are in Hollywood, and always felt pressure to be skinny. And I did diet pills, and it was bad. And I hope I didn't damage myself in the long run, but uh, just to stay under a certain weight, which we call camera weight, which you really needed to be like 10 pounds below your normal weight to look normal on the screen. And so I did a lot of commercials back then, and I was constantly going to auditions on top of my full-time job. So I just tried to stay at that weight, and I was doing pills. It was bad. So that's what I did. Then in my 30s, I learned how to start eating better. So in my 30s, I, stopped doing the drive-through as much, even though I still did it at times. But I would eat at home, but I wasn't really much of a cook. And I'm still not that much of a cook, although I can make some dishes. I have signature dishes, but they're usually out of my calorie range that I actually it makes it tough because I have pasta dishes and things like that that I love to make, but it's on special occasions only. Yeah. In my 30s, I finally got off the diet pills, thank goodness, and just started going to a holistic doctor and find out what I need to do. And then I discovered juicing, and that's a big thing for me as well. And I was doing hot yoga from in my mid to late 30s all the way to about a couple of years ago. I stopped, almost 2 years ago that I stopped hot yoga. And I don't think I really said this online, but I stopped doing yoga just for spiritual reasons on top of the dehydration factor. And I decided to go into like Pilates, stretching, but doing more weights at home. And I save a lot of money that way too. I spend a lot of money in yoga, the clothes, the memberships, you name it, the mats, constantly replacing them. And because I went like 6 days a week. Yeah. And that's another addiction. I kind of exchanged out. That's a good point. I kind of exchanged the diet pills for hot yoga. And I was quite addicted to it because just to keep the weight down. And in hot yoga, it was 105 degrees in there, 90-minute class every day, 40% humidity. If you guys anybody knows about that. So. Okay. I had another question. In my 50s, what did I change my health regimen? You guys already know that. So fasting, yay. Well, I started the fasting at 48, obviously, and really got into it and studying it with friends that are in the medical world, more so on the holistic side. So they encouraged it, and it started out with mono fasting. And that's what I wanted to mention. Mono fasting is what I consider a great maintenance type of regimen when you're eating one category of food or one item of food, or something like juicing. Juicing would be considered a form of mono fasting. And so I'm going to do a video on that, which I already did, but I mean, I'm going to edit it and get that out in a couple of days. Yeah. And I think I'm returning to it because it's so much vitamins in juicing with whole foods. And I really want to stick to whole foods, clean eating, eating more raw. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my meat. I love my meat. So, what about you guys? How is your diet? Are you guys keeping it under control during the shutdown? Tell me what's going on in your world. I mean, here we're what we call in phase two. That means mostly everything is opening up except for the exception of 50% capacity. Wearing masks in restaurants and hotels for the employees, they recommend it, but it's not mandatory to wear masks here. What about you guys? How is this affecting you with your regimen? I know that being in the house more, I tend to gain more weight than I wanted to initially. But you guys motivate me to keep going, and doing the videos keeps me accountable to um, not to be complacent, because it could easily go awry when if you give me 2 or 3 days just to eat and watch TV, right? Yeah. So I think the most I've gained was probably 8 to 9 pounds, I want to say, over this 2.5 month ordeal. So, okay. Going back to one thing about the diet pills, Fly Girl was saying that her doctor recommended phentermine. Yeah, that for weight loss. That's what it was. That's what I was taking. Yeah. And you were concerned about taking the meds. I know. Don't do it. Don't do it. See, I wish I knew what I knew today back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Oh my, yeah. So if I knew what I knew today, that would have never happened. I can only imagine it was affecting my heart, anxiety, all that. Yeah. So Malika says she gained 6 pounds during the shutdown, trying to get back on track. You got it. Yeah, I know you can do it. I'm going to tell you that last 5 or 6 pounds to get off is probably the worst. It's like my body would play a joke on me. I would get down to that weight, that ideal weight, right? And then I only see it for that 24 hours. And then next day, the weight jumped up to 2 or 3 pounds, and then 3 or 4 pounds, whatever. And then I don't see that initial weight that I wanted to be at unless I really do hardcore fasting 48 hours. And that is pretty frustrating. It can be, But I have a theory about the shutdown and why we're all struggling. I would imagine most of us, uh, at least in the past few weeks, is that it's psychological. I think depression kicks in, anxiety kicks in. We're all carrying this burden, you're carrying a burden with the stress level of what's happening in the world, right? And spiritual too. But I think it affects the weight. I think our weight is hanging on for survival reasons or something. And also we're grazing. I tend to binge when I'm stressed out, and start eating, almonds. And almonds are great for us, but I can eat, a half a bag, like a 16-ounce bag, that I can eat half of that and not realize I just did that in a 2-hour frame. So of course I was gaining weight. So I know you guys might agree about, it's psychological. Of course, mindset is everything. And if you're really stressed out, how can you really hunker down to fast? The only way that was helping me with doing the alternate day fasting is that I was praying. I was praying in the first thing in the morning to God about if I can just start my day off right with Him and talking to Him about my struggles, it seems to mellow out and my cravings start to curtail because he's lowering my stress level, right? So it makes sense that the cravings will calm down as well. And then that's probably more spiritual fasting. Now, spiritual fasting doesn't have anything to do with weight loss, our vanity reasons or a, physical sense, but it's about your relationship with God and getting closer. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent on the spiritual aspect, but I can't really separate the two uh, with what we're going through right now. And everything. Yeah, Susan says it helps. Prayer helps so much in fasting and everything. Yeah. Colette. Hi, Colette. Oh, Colette's in Toronto. Hi from Canada. Excellent. Oh, and I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate, you know, again, you guys motivate me to make the videos. So I want to keep going, I appreciate you guys so much for your support. Hi, Tara. Tara's in the house. I'm so glad you're here. Hi. Thank you. And Carol. Hi, Carol. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Carol is saying that her eating got worse and practically stopped exercising. Yeah, I get it. There was a week or so that I didn't get out and walk. I was using the excuse of it's just too windy. My sinuses are going to kick up. Well, that's true. Yes. But I was just getting into a funk. I was getting depressed. And that's probably in April. I want to say that was probably my worst time that month. And I had to snap out of it. You guys snapped me out of it. So thank you. I want to know how I can help you, though. And I don't want to be rambling about me, but how can I help? Oh, you know what, FebG? That's a good question. Can fasting reverse your gray hair? Don't get me started. I got a ton of gray hair. I'm about 40% gray. And that started in my 20s, my late 20s. I was a caregiver for my father before my mom. And those of you that don't know, I'm a caregiver also. My mom had a stroke 22 years ago, and she was only 55. And so that is what set me on the journey of finding better health, because it was a wake up call for me too. And being so young that she was, was frightening. She had her stroke 6 months after my father. So, they weren't together, they were divorced and over 30 years before that. And they had this stroke and the same illness 6 months apart of each other. So my father, I started caregiving, and he was about 58, I believe. Yes. So I didn't mean to get on a tangent about that, but back to the gray hair. So I really got a lot of gray hair when my father passed away. It was 7 years that I took care of him. And instantly, my hair took this crown of gray in the front about a week after or 2 weeks after my father passed away. It just seemed like it just came over. I don't even know how to explain it, but it showed up. And it was pretty scary when I went to the hairstylist and she told me how much gray I really had. And at that time, I was only, I don't know, mid 30s. So does fasting help? I'd like to believe that, but because I've been fasting for 2 years, my gray hair is just, it's just keeps going. It just keeps going. I want to believe that there is something you can do about reversing gray hair. And, but because I'm not, I'm a chicken about letting the gray come in right now, I'm not ready for it. I'm going to continue getting my hair colored. So I don't want to see that, because in 5 weeks I can see, the roots will be pretty gray. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Malika said she was off topic, but I'm sorry, I went off topic too a little bit here, but I'm just answering questions. So about the hair, she said, could I do a tutorial about my hair? Oh, thank you. And she likes the color. Thank you. Well, I definitely do semi-permanent. I don't do permanent. My hair fell out before when I did permanent for a long time. Uh, and so that was about 2.5 years ago that I had a big spot right here that my hair completely fell out from the roots. Yeah. So I had to just cut it all the way off and start again. Yeah. That's something I've been thinking about it. I just trying to figure out how to do it in a technical aspect that it will look good. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I'll work on that. So, what would I map out for those of us that are rebooting or newbies? What would I recommend? Hmm. So, if you could be a little bit more specific about rebooting, are you saying that map out your like a food plan, a health plan, or are you talking about a what type of fasting I would recommend? Is that what you mean? And then while you're answering me, Carol's asking about mothers. She's also a caregiver as well. Yeah, there's a quite a few of you guys are, I'm sure, are caregivers. You know, I mean, this is what we call the sandwich generation, which we take care of our ill parents as well as taking care of raising our children. So that's a sandwich generation, and there's a lot of that. Big percentage of us. Um, Again, I don't have children, but I have a cat, and she's my child. Yeah, that's tough. Very many. She also. Yeah, I feel you, Carol. Yeah, so she was taking care of her mom for many years. So trying to balance. Yeah. Well, and again, that's the reason for when I started this YouTube channel was about caregiving originally, and how do we take care of the caregiver? And that's why I say at the end of each video, caregiving begins with you. Um, because if we're not healthy, how are we going to take care of someone else? And that's where I draw the line, because my mom, she can only say 5 words, period. And she's right side paralyzed, which is her writing side, and she can't do that either. So she's wheelchair bound, and so I get it completely. It's every day I'm challenged because I'm trying to get her breakfast and things going in the morning before I get off and running to work, and it's a juggling situation. Yeah, and so if we're not in good health, how are we going to manage all this? It's a lot of stress. It is. So that's why the fasting boosts up that immune system, right? Yeah. And Fly Girl, yes, caregiver too, 13 years. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Hang in there, guys. We're honoring our parents, and it's the least we can do. I mean, I had no question about it. She took care of me. I owe her. Yeah. Um, so I had a few more questions here I can answer that were from the audience. So, oh, someone asked, did I continue ADF, alternate day fasting from the challenge? And at the beginning of this live stream, those of you that may have joined, yes, I am continuing, but I stretched out the alternate day fasting, not every other day, but I'm doing it about every 2 to 3 days that I'll actually do a 48-hour fast. So it's kind of back to my same regimen where I'm OMAD daily, and then I'm doing 48-hour fast about once or twice a week. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have a lot to give right now because my energy seems a little bit low because of having high stress work days. So I'm just trying to uh, not overdo it on the 48-hour fast. Yeah. So another question that was asked was, during the shutdown and as things are opening up, do I find myself eating more? um, no, I find that I'm eating less now because I'm moving around more and getting out of the house more. Before, I think I was eating more when I'm staying put and not leaving the house as much as I should. So, if that makes sense. What do you guys think? Okay. So Fly Girl was asking about a food plan and intermittent fasting. Yeah. Well, I think that's something that we would need to talk about. That I have to know what type of foods you like, what are you into, and if that's something you want to email me and we can come up with a plan. For me, I have to definitely have a good amount of fat, protein, and also vegetables. So that's kind of my carbs right there. So I'm on a low carb diet, and that's what works for me to maintain my weight, but also to also have a weight loss factor there, because if I do too many carbs, it's off the chain. I'll gain all the weight back that I've lost in the last 2 years. So we need to know what is working for you. Everything's different for everyone's body. So we have a hormones we have to work with for women. Men can eat a higher percentage of carbs because they burn it so easy. I don't. There's what we call carb loading days, which once a week I would call that a carb loading day, where I actually enjoy some carbs like, rice, pasta. I would enjoy that, but that's when I do a heavy workout day. So when I know I'm working out heavy, a strenuous type of workout, then I know I can have a higher sense of carbs, because carbs is good for you to burn the fuel. But on my regular days when I'm doing low impact walking, I do short intervals when I'm walking on probably like a 90-minute walk. Um, that's low impact. And then I do some weights, but that's pretty much it, is my normal regimen. So I have to watch my carb intake, and we can work on that. So I would have to know your exercise regimen. I would need to know what are you trying to lose weight? Or are you trying to just maintain? All these questions we would have to go through and just look at it that way. I'd be glad to help, by email. So you guys can reach me on regforhealth@gmail.com. That's kind of where I use that email just for you guys, because it's easier for me to um, figure out who is emailing me in the first place, but it's not, a bunch of advertising and things like that going through there. So it's pretty clean. And so I can answer in that manner. Okay. So let's try that if you want to work with me on that. Be patient with me. Be patient. um, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Tara was saying that she gets those hot flashes. Yeah, as soon as she eats too many carbs. That's good observation. I do too, actually, when I think about it. Or I find that I start getting hot flashes when I eat 2 or 3 meals in one day, which is rare. But when I do, if I'm out somewhere, or a work environment situation, obviously we haven't done that in months now. But when I do that, I tend to get those hot flashes as well. I'm just at that age. Yeah. And we're at that age. Thank you for saying that. I'm a Christian too, FebG. What is the problem with yoga? Yeah. Um, Again, a personal thing for me. The yoga I was doing is Hindu yoga, I believe it. That's where it originated from. And so that's not the religion that I follow. So um, something, I'm just going to say, God was telling me in my mind and in my spirit, in my soul, um, that it was time to leave that practice, that it wasn't my path. And so that's why I left. It took me a long time. I was doing it for like 12 years. Yeah. great people, phenomenal people, dear friends from there that I miss. But that's what I needed to do for myself. And by the way, what I thought was helping me with anxiety was the yoga at first, initially, for the first few years. And then after that, it started to increase. Couldn't figure out why. So that's something we can talk again offline. Please DM me also. You can DM me at Instagram at Reggie Edited also if you want to have a one-on-one conversation. I'll be glad to share more on that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Tara, you got that right. Thank you for saying that. Some of those poses, yes, are not of God. Because it comes from a different religion, Eastern religion. So it's just something that I needed to do for myself. And, but I have no problem talking about it. I just didn't want to get too far off topic, and anybody else here that, I don't want to alienate anyone, because we all have our past. And when I can hear God more now than ever, and it's louder and louder, especially in this time. And so, before I couldn't hear him when I was deep into practice of yoga. So that was enough for me. Yeah. I don't want to lose contact with him ever again like that. Okay. So Lucky 7, hi, is online. 7 keto DHEA supplement thoughts. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't take it. I think it's okay if you're into weightlifting and things like that, doing a lot of toning type of exercise. Now, I don't know exactly that label per se, but I do know the supplement. A lot of fitness gurus may recommend it. For me, I just don't. I don't take it. My thing is taking my amazing greens, because that's all herbs, and that gives me crazy energy. It helps a lot. And because I wasn't taking it probably in those last couple of weeks, I've been kind of off of my normal regimen, of course. I've noticed that I'm just tired. I'm extra tired. And so with amazing greens that I take, I mix that in with coconut water or water. But when I just do it with water, it tastes like grass. So, but it's the most amazing thing, because it has every vitamin and mineral that you can think of is in this mixture, and it's natural, and it's what God made. So that's what I love about it. And so that helps me with the energy on working out as well. Levels. Yeah. Amazing greens. Yes. So I get amazing greens online, or we have stores here. So there's 2 stores. It's called Herbally Grounded. So you can look up herballygrounded.com, and you can find all the wonderful herbs. I mean, they're truly pure. I trust this owner, and she has basically healed herself in lupus, and she has some other chronic illnesses that she discovered by becoming true herbalist. And so I've been getting it for years. They've been around, I don't know, maybe 15 years. And yeah, it's returning back to basics. I have to remind myself, because I will start trying new things, which I do, like a coastal cleanse. I try that. I love it. But it's, but I'm all about natural, natural products. If I can get as clean as possible there, I think that's what it's about. The less chemicals you can put in your body, the better off we are. We got too many chemicals environmentally out there in the world, in the air, and we're already in the negative fighting the good battle. So bottom line is to put mostly pure food into your body that is giving you the vitamins that you need. So the question is, do I exercise every day? And also during OMAD, do I exercise before and after my meal, or after the meal? I exercise in the mornings, So I try to get up extra early. When I say extra early, it's really like 6 a.m. And I hit it outside. So I do my running and walking. And yes, I do exercise. I did not exercise today. For some reason, I didn't get to bed on time that I usually do, need that sleep. And just didn't get out before. It's extremely hot here in Las Vegas. So it's going to be about 103 today. And in the morning, it's already about 80 degrees. So if I don't get out at 6 a.m., 6:30-ish, then I kind of miss my window to be out there for 90 minutes. So yeah, but I tend to exercise about 5 to 6 days a week. There are some weeks worse than others. Again, during the shutdown, hit or miss at the beginning of all of this, hit or miss on days getting outside. But I did do weights. Yeah. I have apps too. If you guys, you should utilize those apps. There's some great ones like 8Fit, I believe it's called. They have those HIIT type exercises that you can just do in 15, 20 minutes. If you can get 20 minutes in a day, you're a rock star. Yeah. Ah, okay. I heard about I don't really know about DNP. Lucky Seven is mentioning the best weight loss supplement when used properly. Yeah, I'm just not doing that anymore because I felt like I damaged myself in my 20s and early 30s on doing a lot of supplements, but I don't know about DNP. I mean, I'm assuming that's a natural supplement. Yeah. So you can tell me that. Bottom line is, if I could get away from all supplements, I would, but I know I have to have certain things like vitamin D. I have to have that. I do my probiotics, but for me, probiotics is pretty natural in a natural state. I do magnesium, potassium, calcium in one supplement, and I do fish oil, and then of course my amazing greens. So that's kind of it that I do in supplements. Not always consistent. So I was allowing for an hour. I have about 8 minutes before we will get off, and I don't bore you guys. So do you have any questions, any other questions that I can answer here on the live stream? I have a couple more questions that I did write down that were coming from you all out there. Is how long have I been doing the OMAD lifestyle, and how do I manage my schedule? Yeah. So you guys already know, or most of you would know, that I've been doing the OMAD lifestyle for 2 years. And how do I manage it? I'm doing 23-hour type fast daily. I mean, that's what it kind of ends up to be anyway. And I give myself about an hour, hour and a half to max to eat the meal and maybe have a snack right after. Again, I have to watch that because it's usually almonds that I would do for a snack. Every now and then I do tortilla chips, like the blue corn tortilla chips. And I know I probably shouldn't have that, but every now and then I do it. I don't do it every day. But almonds, I can easily binge on it if I'm not paying attention. So you really only need a good handful of it, and then I'm pretty good. But because I may not have eaten enough in my actual one meal, I think that's where I come up short. And so I tend to snack more than I should. So back to the supplements, you guys were commenting about scheduled substance now because it can be deadly. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then, but it burns 1 pound of pure body fat per day. Yeah. I've done these kind of pills. I have. Go to the vitamin store, and it has a lot of caffeine or something going on in it. And I forgot the name of the one that I was using, years ago. But yeah, I don't recommend any kind of weight loss supplement now. You know, if it's just a vitamin, that's different. Yeah. Ah, okay. So it's not, I think you meant common to take supplements in Germany, talking about only vitamin D for babies. Hey, and I'm taking my vitamin D. I'm with it. I totally agree. Yeah. I love the fact that other countries believe the same way that it seems like we do in America. Also, I know there's a lot of chemicals here, but you know, it's our choice to make good choices, right? Living the simple life is most important to me. Yeah. Okay, so guys, if you don't have any more questions for me, I'm, you know, if you like to have live streams or have some Q&A every now and then or more often than not, I'd be glad to do it. I just don't want to tie you up if it's not going to be productive for you. Okay. And if you guys have any recommendations or something that you want to see, I know I got a couple of requests for certain videos, but certain things you like to see when it comes down to health, habits, and happiness, please do send me a comment. If you can send it in the community tab or you can send it here in comment section. I try to keep a tab of subject matters and I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you're looking for and that we can laugh at ourselves at the same time. I don't want to be so serious, you know? Life is just too short. We got to have fun at it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I really, really love talking with you all. I hope that, you know, today was okay. I haven't done this in a long time. It's only my second live stream. Keep working with me. Next time, maybe I'll do it on the phone or an iPad. And it may be better look to the video and also maybe on the go. And I can take you guys maybe on the strip with me one day. If you're interested in looking at Las Vegas and talk about that and how people are eating terrible on the strip, you know, I can do that as well. There's some wonderful restaurants. It's just that you spend a lot of money and I'm all about saving money and being debt free. Yeah. Thanks, Feb. Bye, guys, everyone. And thank you so much for watching. Happy Saturday. And if it's Sunday at some other places, to you, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, caregiving begins with you. Bye, guys.